Welcome back to the Shipyard. It's Monday. We are doing a card of the week, and I couldn't think of any other card that deserves the first spotlight than Warp Jump. I know, controversy. But Warp Jump is a card that if I look at your build and you don't have Warp Jump, I say, hey, you should put Warp Jump on that build because your build will be better when you have Warp Jump. And if you already have Warp Jump, I look at it and say, hey, why don't we figure out how to get another Warp Jump in there because your build will be better with another Warp Jump. And that makes it very powerful. If you don't know what Warp Jump does, it's on screen somewhere in here, but word for word, at the start of the combat phase, before any attacks have been made, you may discard this card to remove your ship from the play area. At the end of the combat phase, after all other ships have attacked, place your ship anywhere in the play area, but not within range 1 to 3 of another ship, or any other ship. All tokens that were beside your ship go away. And obviously you cannot attack during the round in which you use this ability because you're not on the board during the combat phase. So what does Warp Jump do that makes it so powerful? Well, it's twofold. First, it is attack cancellation, meaning your ship is safe. It's going to live to fight another day. But more importantly, number two, is that it is positional. Right? Attack Wing is a game of board position, where you are on the map, especially relative to other ships, is hyper important. Right? Are you in firing arcs? Are you coming in for flanking maneuver? Warp Jump says none of that matters. None of it matters. You can come in behind somebody. You can be clear on the other side of the board. You can be wherever you want. It doesn't matter. And I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about this card, and he's played a little bit of Attack Wing, not much, but we talk about the meta every so often. You know what's popular, what's being run. And as soon as I told him about Warp Jump months ago, he's like, "Oh, David, that's broken. That's ridiculous. They have to ban it or make severe changes to it, but just ban it. It's easier." Um, I've gotten to the point where I agree with him, because making it unique still has potential. It can be recurred with Gold Press Platinum tokens. There's too many issues. One per ship is definitely a problem, because that's still 3-4 copies of it. It can be transferred, it can be quarked, it can be so many things that you just don't want to deal with that headache. So one per ship, definitely not enough of a change. Unique, yeah, maybe. But we were talking today about what might be a slightly elegant change to the card, and we came up with if you had to redeploy in your starting area. Now that's not a perfect solution, right? Obviously, you would probably come back in within range of other ships. But what that does is it gives your opponent some idea of where you're going to be when you do use Warp Jump. Right? One of the reasons the Borg spin was changed was that there was no predictability to their movement. Well, Warp Jump has the same issues here, and it's worse. I figured after Origins last year, Warp Jump would get changed. Right? That was my whole rationale for being there. That was part of the reason Peter ran the build that he did, the same build for Worlds. It decimates people. And more importantly, it's not fun. The Warp Jump builds are not fun. They lead to very stale gameplay. And it's not even about the steal a couple of cards, steal some points of cards and then run away. It's that if you have ships that are immune, ships that cannot die, you don't have a game. Right? This is attack wing. We should be attacking things, and we're not. We're playing jump wing, which is something more like Battlestar Galactica being chased by the Cylons rather than Star Trek. Right. So here's the other thing. I was looking at other cards to try to put in here. And I'm like, well, hey, Projected Stasis Field, that's a great card. Well, it is, except I hit you with Projected Stasis Field and you just warp jump away, and then your shields are back up and you never took a shot, and I've wasted my Projected Stasis Field. Oh, and by the way, my ship's been hampered by the fact that I've used Projected Stasis Field. So it's actually easier to kill my ship versus the ship that I used it on. It makes no sense. Everything I can do as an action to try to hamper you outside of stealing your warp jump, which you're not going to let happen because you're running a higher captain skill than me by the time we engage, or some form of protection. Numerous protection ideas. We'll get into that when we do a build academy, or talk about top protecting cards. But you're not letting your opponent steal your warp jump. That's the truth of the matter. So it's the situation where warp jump is the uncounterable card. And until not one thing, but multiple things can come in and counter warp jump, it's the thing you not only want to run, but have to run. And as I led off with, if your build doesn't start with warp jump, it better end with warp jump, because if I look at your build and it doesn't have warp jump, it needs it. And that's not fun. It's not fun to build that way, it's not fun to play that way, and yeah. So, why? Why do I have a spotlight? Why have I spent nearly 8.5 minutes talking about warp jump at this point? Because it is the top of the meta card, right? Warp jump exists up here, and then there's a lot of good cards that are here, and then there's a lot of cards that are here, and then there's other cards that fall off the bottom. But the meta, the top of the top tier, starts and ends with warp jump. Nothing else competes with it. Not Cloaked Mines, although they're very close. Not Projected Stasis Field, not Diplomacy, not Chemosite, not Ferengi Torpedoes, not the new Photon Torpedoes from the Feds, not etc. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Throw out your top of the meta card in the comments. It doesn't matter. Warp Jump's better. It's absolutely better. So, I'm sorry, but that's the truth of the matter. So, on that note, I'm done. Warp Jump, fantastic card. Thank you. See you next time around. See you around the shipyard. Goodbye.